So I want to start with RIIZE. If you're unfamiliar with RIIZE debuted on SM last year. They're a 7-member boy group, 6 members right now. I believe it will be 6 infinitely. I hate that something really unfair happened with Sunghan was put on hiatus indefinitely, and they've moved forward as a group of 6. I have a whole video. I'll link it if you want to watch my thoughts from months ago on if he would be coming back, why or why not. As of now, he is still not back with the group. They are moving forward as 6 members. So they're doing something now. It's fan concerts. And I've seen fan concerts quite a bit in Korea. You see your favorite groups do these fan meets, fan concerts. But over here in the States, it's traditionally concerts, it's not fan meetings. So this was my first time seeing a fan meeting. I think for RIIZE, it makes sense because they don't have that much material. Um, so the way it works is they'll perform 1 or 2 songs and then they sit and like talk with the audience. They play games. There were a lot of games with RIIZE. They did TikTok challenges, a 3-legged race, things of that nature. And then they'll do maybe a couple more songs. They did cover songs. They did a cover of One Direction, One Thing, and they killed it. Vocally, they were phenomenal. I will say the fan con thing, I don't think is my favorite. I would have almost rather had a shorter concert where it was just a concert because you lose momentum when you stop and you talk for 30 minutes. Now the whole crowd is sitting down, the energy in the room gets deflated. So I'm not sure if fan cons are the best thing moving forward. Again, I would have just put in more cover songs and dances. I wouldn't have been mad with an hour and a half show of that as opposed to, 2.5 hours where a lot of it is talking. And there's obviously, I think it also kind of takes away even more because you have like the translator and things that might get lost in translation and stuff like that. So I will say I'm not a huge fan of fan cons. I think if I had the option of a traditional concert or a fan con, I would go to the traditional concert. That said, let's talk about what they did music wise, because that's what I do. I review music, I review concerts and album releases. So, fan stuff was fine. It was fun. I think a lot of the fans probably enjoyed it. It's just not my cup of tea. Um, they were impressive as performers. I have to say, in person, RIIZE are way taller than I expected. They're a tall group, really like a lot taller than I was expecting. Very handsome, not a surprise. This is an SM group, ladies and gents. SM, in my opinion, always have the best looking idols. I think, like, person for person on all the labels, SM would win the beautiful, handsome, best looking contest. These guys, all 6 of them, were very handsome in person. So they were striking visually, great dancers. They have such hard choreography and it's really fun to watch in person. They brought a lot of attack and energy to the stage that I appreciated. You could tell they want this. They're working hard for this. And I appreciate that. There's no going through the motions. It was impressive. But what really took me, it was the vocals. Vocally, very strong. They delivered live, stable, strong vocals. And again, that should be the norm, but it's not in K-pop at this point. So it was refreshing. It was really nice to see, oh, their mics are on. And in this hard choreography, they're still singing live. That's hard to do. And they knocked it out of the park. Sohee is obviously a great vocalist. That didn't surprise me. But all of them can sing. All of them, even the so-called rappers, Sungchan, Shitaro, when their parts came up, they could sing. And I thought Sungchan was particularly impressive doing the One Direction song. I think he has a lower register that's great. I hope he gets more chances to show that off. My standout, however, was Anton. Anton has a really nice tone. I like his instrument. There's some old school like soul that comes through when he sings that I don't think has been translated into their songs quite yet. But live, I was like, ooh, what is this? So he stood out to me vocally. Obviously, Shotaro is the dancer. I think he's one of the best dancers in K-pop, if not the best, period, right now. I'm not sure how many idols could go toe to toe with Shotaro right now when it comes to dancing. It's a joy to watch because you just see like his whole body express every movement, every emotion. It's really special and fantastic to watch. So that was phenomenal. I also have to say, Unsuk, I always say his name wrong. He stood out to me as a dancer quite a bit. He was shining in a few of the choreographies. I kept looking at him. I'm like, wait, is that Shotaro? He killed it. He's a really strong dancer and a powerful presence, specifically when he's center. So I thought all of the members stood out. The only negative, SM, their stylists were trying to sabotage. They are trying so hard to sabotage these boys. Have you guys seen Shitara's new haircut? It looks like when you're a kid playing with Barbies and you just keep cutting. I mean, there's just lines and layers that aren't the most flattering. Does he look handsome and cute? Yes. But there was no reason to give him that haircut. So they're on my bad list. Also, Wanbin was killing it with the longer blonde hair. They also gave him a short layered thing that it's fine. I'm being nitpicky, but you all know how specific I am with freeing the forehead and like not sabotaging people with horrendous hairstyles. So their stylist really said, you know what? For the American leg, I'm going to make sure to do the worst haircuts I can think of on Shotaro and Wanbin. Guess what? It didn't work because they both still look handsome and killed it and rocked it. But don't think I didn't notice what you were doing, stylist. And Unsuk, his hair, his bangs were to here. They did the Tae from BTS. His bangs were here, you guys. You could barely see his eyes when they did close-ups. I'm not exaggerating. And then on top of it, they like round brush dried them like, bowl cut from the 80s. Stop doing that. Stop giving these guys these poofy Golden Girls hairstyles. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So actually, their stylists get a big thumbs down from me because a lot of the hair did not work. I also didn't think the outfits were great. The first ones, I get the 90s throwback, but I think you could have executed it a little bit cuter. So that's my nitpicky stuff. That's just on the styling team. The members killed it, and they're really handsome and talented in person. So I would say if you have the opportunity to see RIIZE, go see them. Know what you're in for if you go to a fan con. It's not a concert. It's like watching them play games and talking for kind of half the time. So if you're cool with that, which I think 99% of fans probably are, definitely go. They're very charming. But just be aware because it's a different vibe from a regular concert. So massive congratulations to RIIZE. You all know I'm a huge fan. I was lucky enough to see them their debut first performance ever at KCON last year. I loved seeing them now in a short period of time. There's already been so much growth. I think confidence and synergy as a group is there. It's exciting to see. So, congratulations to the members of RIIZE. I would pay for a ticket to a RIIZE concert again. It was a great show.